Do you want to get robbed while abroad? Do you want to get lost while going abroad? The answer to both of these questions is obviously a resounding no, which is why you want to be able to enjoy your time abroad instead of looking for lost items or being lost yourself. Traveling abroad overall can just be made better and easier if first of all you carry the right bag on you. Second, you're always carrying important documents on your actual person. And then lastly, you're always looking at maps and locations before you actually leave or go there. Now, I myself have been abroad 4 times, and these tips have always helped me prevent any kind of issue while I was there. So, the main thing that we're going to start off with is carrying the right bag. Now, this is a perfect example of the bag that you probably shouldn't be carrying while abroad. It faces away from you, and you can't see what someone is doing behind you. All of the pockets are out of sight, and anyone can just reach in and take something out of it. Now, you might feel them rustling around, but at that point it might be too late. Now, according to TripAdvisor, a much better alternative is the bag that goes across your entire body. The reason for this being that it stays in your eye line so that it hangs at the side of your body instead of behind you. Also, with the long strap, it's much harder to take off from someone running by. Unlike a purse or a small little coin bag, which only hangs on one arm or one shoulder, it can easily be slid off quickly by someone passing by you. This, on the other hand, has to go entirely over your head, and robbers don't want to mess with it. Now, going off of that, USA Today's travel tips online have said that these are the most important things to keep on your person as the documents that you should always have on you. First up, we have your passport, which is obviously the most important thing. So important even though you might want to make a copy of it, just in case it does still get lost or stolen. Now next up, you have your traveler's checks or any kind of currency that you might need. A lot of time you'll have to exchange the American dollar for whatever currency you would be currently using, and you want to keep both on you, just in case. Next up, you're going to need to keep your driver's license on you, just so you have another form of identification other than your passport. It's always good to have more than one, just in case, again, one gets lost or stolen. Next, you're going to want to keep any kind of tickets, itinerary, reservation information on you. That way that you always have it just in case there's any problem with your hotel or problem with any kind of place you might be going. And last, which has to do with our very last tip, is maps that you're always going to want to keep on you. Now, according to a survey done by Statistica, it's shown that the most common thing which is stolen is your cell phone. 10% of people who travel abroad have their phone stolen from them. And next up would be credit cards and debit cards, which follow closely behind at about 9%. These things are always going to be on your person, so you want to make sure that you keep them in sight in a bag that's right in front of you and easily accessible. Now, before you do any of that, you're going to need to look at maps for where you're going and what you're doing. It's always important to be looking at maps so that you can familiarize yourself with the country you're in. Just walking around, you're not going to be able to find anything, and if the country uses another language other than the one you're currently used to, you might not be able to find your way around. You might want to purchase books beforehand or maps beforehand which are in your own foreign language. Now, if you have maps on you and those get lost, you can probably always purchase one, but it's always best to keep a few copies. That way, in case one does get lost or possibly thrown away, you always have a backup just in case. Now, hopefully next time you're traveling, you can keep these in mind, just so your trip is a lot better.